Welcome to another episode of the Modern People Leader. This is day 2 of Transform, and we got Donald Knight with us here today. It's great to have you.
Man, Daniel, thanks for having me, man. You and Steven got good energy, and I just consider it an honor to be able to sit with you. So this is amazing.
Likewise. Both me and Steven last night, we were like, it feels like we're homies with Donald. Like we just get, yeah, we go way back. Like, immediately there was that connection. So speaking of energy, what's been giving you energy this week?
Was transform, right? And I think a lot of people miss out on the definition. Words are important. They're powerful if you know their definitions. Transform means to make a thorough or meaningful change. And I'm just been energized by the amount of people that are focused not only on people, but what changes they can make um, to ensure that when people are in the workplace, they have a better experience. And so whether that's on the front end around recruitment and hiring, or whether it's around people experience, or whether it's about essentials, what most people call benefits, people really want to come here to learn from the thought leaders like yourself around one of the things that they could do to get better. So, dude, I'm super pumped by that.
I love that. I was a corporate HR person for 10 years and I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years,
Okay.
more or less. And the reason I made that jump is because I had to believe like we spend more time with the people we work with than our loved ones. And we deserve to be engaged in our jobs, to be able to bring our whole selves to our jobs, to really have a full experience. And 10 years ago, we were just so way off. In my mind, it needed to be transformed. And being here, talking to tech founders, meeting with practitioners, other thought leaders, it's like been a completely energizing experience for me too. So I share that completely.
Yeah,
And so
man.
your session was yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So what was the topic of your session? What were you focusing on?
Oh, we talked about the pitfalls of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay.
It's something I'm very passionate about because I know what great looks like in that space. And I also know what bad looks like in that space. And so just being able to openly share through vulnerability and empathy and transparency around some of the things that we've gotten right,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then some of the things that have forced us to fall down, but falling down is not bad. We got to celebrate getting back up.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times in business, particularly for younger folks, older people project that you have to always get this right or that it has to be perfect. And I'm like, no, like, man, some of the greatest scars on my body came from when I was 5, 6, 7, jumping off couches. And
Yes.
it's great. I'm still here to talk about it. But I share those stories with my son, Dalen, to make sure he knows, hey, when I tell you not to do something, it's because I've done that already.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fall down the way that I fell down. And so that was pretty good. The other thing I would say, Stephen, is you're spot on when you say people spend more time at work. The number is actually 90,000 hours. The average person spends 90,000 hours before they retire working. And what it equates to is about a third of your life. So 90,000 hours you're working. You spend another third of your life actually sleeping. And then that last third, you squeeze in everything else. People you love, entertainment, travel, food, brushing your teeth. And so when you say it's important to get this thing right in the workplace, you're spot on. We can't afford to get this wrong because it equates to a person's third of their life. So I'm so glad you recognize that.
So you mentioned that you were vulnerable and you shared some of the pitfalls. What are some of the pitfalls?
Look, I share the one that we had, which is very important to me and near and dear to me. We had 3 women, phenomenal leaders at our organization, come together. And as parents, as moms, they wanted to talk about creating an ERG, or what we call arbors at Greenhouse, called the nursery.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, phenomenal branding.
Yeah. Love it.
What I love about our arbors is that we don't go the traditional route on naming our arbors, which is amazing. And as they were getting ready to kick that off, they had moms already pumped and amped. But what they realized is we had to press the pause button because while it's important to focus on parents, 75% of most organizations are parents or guardians.
Mm-hmm.
There's another 70 number. There's 70 million boomers on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
70 million boomers. And the average person lives till 79. And so what we realized is we can't just talk about caregiving for children. We got to start talking about caregiving for parents. I'm in that space now. Like, my parents are older now, like, and I'm the eldest. I know that responsibility is gonna fall on me first.
Yes.
And so what we had to do is we had to pump the brakes. We couldn't use the nursery anymore. What are we gonna call this? The great thing is we have some phenomenal women at our company.
Yeah.
Those 3 women went back. It's called Full House now. And how do you care, giving that caregiving to everybody in that house, where it may be grandma, grandpa, your parents, and your children. And so the pitfall for us was making sure that we weren't, in our attempt to be inclusive, that we were mindful that we weren't exclusive.
Right.
So it's been pretty phenomenal.
I love that. The topic of diversity is near and dear to me as Latinx. I've been so fortunate over the years to be a consumer of the diversity programs. And I consider myself like a success story. Like when you do it right, it works and it transforms and it creates a lot of good for the company.
Absolutely.
For a lot of different dimensions also. And so having had the opportunity, the privilege to be a part of these programs, I worry. I worry when I sit in events here that talk about diversity budgets potentially getting cut.
Yeah.
Times are tough. Things are uncertain. Everyone's tightening their belts.
Yeah.
Profitability is important. And so do you agree that that's at risk?
Oh man.
Sorry, we said we would throw you a few curveballs.
No, it's cool,
that's
Steven.
okay.
No, Steven, I'm gonna be vulnerable with you, man. I believe companies that are choosing to cut their DE&I teams and initiatives are telling you exactly who they have always been.
Yes.
People first companies are not cutting those people. The way I try to equate it is in any times of recessions,
yep,
or macroeconomic downturns, hardships, I've never heard anyone say, we no longer need the CFO.
Right.
We've never said that. And one of my favorite people at Greenhouse, I consider her a bestie. Her name is Christina Salen. But she knows I use this same analogy all the time. We've never said we're going to cut the CFO position. Now, we've said we'll cut the CFO, the person in the CFO role, if they're not handling their business the way that they're supposed to. But why don't we say we're going to cut the CFO position? Because what has happened is, generally across all industries, we have accepted that that role is a requirement. It's not a nice to have, it's a need to have. So when it comes to DE&I initiatives and DE&I practitioners, we have to continue to do the work so they can get to a point where they're no longer a nice to have, they're a need to have. And to me, the companies that are choosing to double down in those spaces, the companies that are choosing to be people first and understands that diversity drives creativity, creativity drives innovation, innovation drives revenue, and revenue drives profits, those companies, they're not cutting those people. And those are the people we should be choosing to go park our time, talent, and treasure with. So this one's near and dear to me because I've seen the positive impact of people in those roles and how they have shifted the narrative in the conversation around the boardroom.
So slightly different conversation, but when we talked with somebody named Jackson Lynch about a year and a half ago, the topic was getting budget as an HR leader versus if you're a CFO. And I think how he explained it was the roles and responsibilities of a CFO are clearly defined, and everybody understands what that definition is across the board, from the boardroom to the CEO. And for HR leaders or something like DEI, I think people on the board have a harder time understanding like what is the definition and roles and responsibilities of somebody that's on the DEI team. And yeah, he was like, we need to all come together as a community and figure out how do we like standardize this the same way that the CFO has, or the way that somebody on the legal team has. Like nobody questions those teams when they ask for budget, or nobody questions the revenue team when they're asking for a new sales tool or a new marketing tool. And so I don't know, that's what I thought of when you were talking about all of that.
Absolutely. There's a whole concept of talent to value and how you can measure quality of impact. That's what I've been talking about more, is like, most people talk about talent to value. They're like, oh, how long does it take talent to start unlocking value at your organization?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, you don't get it. For some people, representation enough has already started the impact that they're making. And so I agree with you that we should have a better business narrative
Mhm.
on the business impact having DE&I teams around. But I think the problem is actually rooted in the fact that it's called DE&I. Like, I believe inclusion is an output.
Mhm.
So at Greenhouse, we have an idea team. Inclusion happens when diversity, equity, and allyship are present. That allyship component is huge, because allyship is what happens when I recognize I'm the first African-American to be on the exec team at Greenhouse. And when I get there, there's 22% women in our executive leadership team. Today, that's 44%.
Wow.
And I just crossed over 365 days. Allyship is when I recognize we have 2 women on our board out of 7 people. Now we have 3 women on our board.
Yes.
So there's a role for us to play, but the business impact, to me, or that we should be talking about, the business narrative, has to be on quality of impact, which is one of the things we're doing and working with Ariana, our head of talent planning and acquisition, is looking at job descriptions and starting to define what's that quality of impact. So when we go to hire you and we say, hey, look, Daniel, look, you're a talent acquisition coordinator, your impact, $5 million. Why? Because the people you're sourcing for is on the revenue team. And we've already identified, when we hire them, what their book of business is going to be. D&I has to start talking that way, because when you hire someone like a Laura Squires, who's based in Atlanta, and she closed the biggest deal in SMB history, but she's of a Latina background. She's from Mexico. Like, the proof's in the pudding. She's already unlocking value.
Yes.
So we just have to get better at that. And I think the more you start to see people talk about quality of impact, that's where you'll start to see that narrative or that standardization that you're talking about start to permeate across industry.
I love it. And thank you so much for joining us, because the more the world can hear what people leaders like yourselves and others, like, there's a lot of people leaders in this community that are driving change, that are saying things need to be better. But still, a lot of people don't know how to change. They don't know what's happening. The best organizations that are truly embracing people first, they don't know. And we know that because we're having conversations. And one of the things that will pop up is like, what's one thing that you would love to hear more about or learn about? And DEI is one of the top 3 things that we hear when we ask that question. And so sharing and being vulnerable and allowing us to cast a light on the great work you're doing is part of the journey. So thank you. I want to circle this back to your session, in the continuing with this idea of needing to share these important things that you're talking about. What is, if there was one thing that, for those that couldn't attend your session, if there was one thing you wanted the audience to walk away with, what is that?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think most people will say I wanted them to walk away with knowing that I love ice cream.
What kind?
Right now it's Pancakes and Waffles by Jenny's.
I have never tried that.
Oh yeah, it came out roughly around 60 days ago. It's pretty phenomenal. She released it on a Saturday morning. There was a long line. Just amazing ice cream. So, I think personally people will say that. I think professionally, what I wanted people to walk away with is, this is a journey. And I feel like so many people don't realize this. I'll be vulnerable a little bit. We are here because of ancestors who were not allowed to see today. There were people that were making meaningful sacrifices in order for us to be able to even sit in these chairs and have this conversation, in order for us to be able to be entrepreneurs in this country called America, in order for us to be executives in this country called America. And when I go back and I look at history, my appreciation for their sacrifices is really rooted in 2 things. Number one, it reminds me that change is the result of many hands at work. And so the fact that you're even facilitating this conversation right now, you have no clue who's going to hear this on the other end and figure out how they're going to contribute, because we're making history even right now. So I'm going to give you all both a pat on the back because you're contributing to that.
So much.
And then the second thing I will say is, if you ever look at any movement where there was meaningful change in history, it has always been minorities creating the conversation on the main stage. The suffrage movement for women, civil rights movement, all of that was rooted in minorities creating the conversation, making people pay attention. George Floyd made people pay attention. But what ends up happening is the actual change comes from people who are in the majority in power, those allies, right? And so when people walk away from that session yesterday, I want them to realize, number one, it's a journey. And we didn't get here simply based off of our own contributions. But number two, keep being disruptive, keep creating the conversation, because I promise you, there's someone else that's maybe in a different demographic or in a different role. And when they pay attention, they're gonna be like, oh, I have something to do about that. So yeah, man, there's a lot of runway for us to create impact.
When we asked Jolyn Anderson that same question, I think her response was that sometimes people feel like they have to have a certain job title or role to make an impact, and that's not true. And she was saying for all the people that feel deeply about DEI, they feel deeply about sustainability, they feel deeply about whatever it is that's relevant to their lives,
yeah,
they can make an impact. And it's the little things that we do every day. So I totally agree with you.
I wish I would have been there to hear her.
Yeah.
That's called influence without authority.
Yeah.
And all of us have that opportunity. All of us have that power to influence without authority.
Did she say passion and action or passion and action? Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
And so continuing with the transform conversation, is there any kind of game-changing idea or buzz that you've heard here? Anything like what are you walking away with that you got from here that is just like, wow, I need to spend more time thinking about this?
Oh man, if I had to like deduce that to just one thing I have to keep thinking about.
Or just like we can riff on it. Like what are some things that or technologies or anything that you were exposed to that you're like, dang.
Yeah, I'll call out a few people. Anessa Fike did a phenomenal conversation on fractional leadership. And we've seen the rise of fractional leadership, particularly in the pandemic, where there were folks that were full-time practitioners in the space. And they're like, look, this isn't for me anymore, or they burnt out, or they needed to take a sabbatical. And now the way that they're contributing to the ecosystem is on a fractional basis. I believe she's spot on that fractional leadership will continue to be a part of the workplace moving forward. I think fractional leadership will be part of future of work. So trying to figure out which roles will that include, right? I know she's been a fractional CPO, CHRO at multiple companies now. I'll be curious to see what other roles you see that. So I think that's going to be interesting because it allows you to tap into experienced talent who want to create meaningful impact, but they also want to preserve their like livelihood and say, I only want to do this in short stints. I think that's going to be interesting. I've had a number of people talk to me about allyship. Couple older white guys come up to me and say, hey, Don, I didn't realize that there was a role for me to play. And I'm like, bro, I got you. And it's creating this safe space because like so many people don't recognize none of us got to choose where we landed on the planet.
No.
And none of us chose our avatar. Like, Daniel, you got phenomenal hair, but I didn't get to choose that I didn't get phenomenal hair. You know, it just happened. Yeah, man.
He does have great hair.
And so this idea around like, all right, now that that's the case, now we get that out the way. Like, how can we be allies for people that are different from us? Me being an ally for people that are neurodivergent or people with disabilities. And how does that shape and mold my behaviors, my actions, my default habits? So I've been talking to a couple of companies that focus on that. And then I'd be last and remiss if I don't talk about Greenhouse, where people have come up to me and was like, yo, where did they find you? Like,
I'm not going to lie. When you came in, like, I remember I had reached out to you on LinkedIn before.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, wow. Don, like, wait, what? Like, so I
appreciate that, man. I'm, I credit my mother for that. But the one thing I would say is like, it's like, where did they find you? And I'm like, two things. Number one, we have a tool called sourcing automation that allows you to find diverse talent.
Oh, wow.
And Daniel, our CEO, he sent me an email, and this is, I've said this a couple of times. I thought it was a phishing attack because I'm like, there's no way the CEO knows my personal email. I don't know you. I don't, if you're part of a country club, I'm not in that country club. Like, I don't know you, bro. But come to find out, man, like there was an Asian American named Steven at our company, call him Steve, and he helped build that tool. And our head of product Henry Tsai is an Asian American. He helps maintain that tool from a product perspective, but not for diverse people building that diverse tool. You don't find diverse talent. And so I share that with people to say, like, I'm not the only one out there, right? Like there's other Stevens out there, Daniel's out there. There's other phenomenal leaders out there. You just have to have the tools and the passion and action to go find them. So
yeah, it's on the investing front too. Like when we talked to Allison Baum Gates, she made the same point, how the reason that she wrote her book is because she wants more women in the investing world. She wants more diverse talent in the investing world, because if those are the people that are making the decisions about what technology is being built and how it's being built, we need more diverse voices in the room. So, and one thing I want to go back to, because I know we only have a couple minutes left, but you mentioned the 3 women that spearheaded the Full House.
that is correct.
Can you give them a quick shout out? Because we usually do like a rapid fire question where we do shout outs.
To be fair, to be inclusive,
Yeah.
is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to at Greenhouse?
There's one specifically. She's the chair of Full House. She's here at Transform.
I want to meet her.
And she's someone that I lean on often when I'm having these kind of conversations, because we want to make sure that we're intentional in making sure that we convey both the ups and the downs of our journey, but also leave people with meaningful actions that they can take. And so that's why we try to lead with vulnerability. And her name is Dina Alabade. And I would give her a shout out. I would also give a shout out to her son, Jude, who's a phenomenal little human. And being able to talk to her about Full House, she's the chair of that arbor, and being able to talk to her about, she's like redefining what it means to be a spouse, partner, wife, mom, and she's on our marketing team, and she's a chair of Full House, and like balancing that all. Oh man, it's not easy. It's not easy. So shout outs to Dina. You are appreciated. You are valued. You are seen. And I consider it a pleasure to be able to work with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing that. And the last question I have, if there's one trait, like look forward to the future.
Yep.
If there's one trait that a modern people leader must have, what is that trait?
Modern people leader, we talk about the allyship continuum.
Yeah.
I built it last year with some phenomenal inputs and collaborations from a company based out of the West Coast, relating between the lines. I encourage all people to reach out to them. Kevin, Stephanie, just phenomenal human beings that help people connect with people of different backgrounds. But as we were building and ideating, my thought around the allyship continuum was, when I look at the greatest leaders, what were the traits that they did for me? So there's 4 things on that continuum, and you'll never master it. Neither will I. The first one is you have to invite people. Find ways to invite people that are different than you. And find ways to invite people that are similar to you that may not have had the opportunity to have the exposure to different perspectives and people that you have. But inviting them is not enough. After you invite them, you have to engage them. Consider it like a party. Like you invite somebody to the party, but if you don't engage and they stand in one corner and you stand in another corner, it's not gonna work. You have to engage them. This is engagement right here, right? We're engaging. It's not enough though. You have to empower them, and empowering people allows them to know that you see them, you see their value, you see their potential. And part of the reason I wanted to prioritize this conversation is, dude, I see the impact you all want to make, and anything that I can do to either share that in my network, connect you, and be a bridge with other leaders, I'm happy to do it, because I want you to feel empowered after we talk.
We would. Yeah, we would love to have you back. And we feel that energy.
Yeah.
So we see that, and we see you. So thank you.
But the last level is most important. You have to champion people. You have to champion people. Champion people means you're going to walk alongside them. And if you want to grow, I want to help you grow. If there's somebody you want to work with, I'm going to help you work with them. You have to champion them. So if you notice during our interview, I call people out by name intentionally, because I want them to feel championed. I want somebody to be like, oh my goodness, I need to find somebody who's a CMO, and I want that person to be inclusive. I need to go call Dina. Or, oh my goodness, I need somebody to be a CPO who has a talent acquisition background and they want to go call Ariana. All these people that I've mentioned in this, or someone that says, oh my goodness, I don't know how to deal with allyship. I need to train our people. I want you to call Kevin and relating between the lines. I will champion all people everywhere I go because that's what true allyship, that's the ultimate stage of allyship.
I love that. And I agree with all of those elements being a requirement of an effective modern people leader in the future. The part that hit home for me is being willing to walk through difficult things with the team.
Yeah.
Daniel and I had our first like major modern people leader challenge, like business challenge, right? And there's going to be a lot. That was just a first of a lot of challenges. And I told Daniel that, you know, we were, you know, I'll be vulnerable. We were a little fearful of the situation.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have a little more experience of being in that, dealing with those tough situations. But I was like, Daniel, you're the CEO of the Modern People Leader. So you're going to have to, this is ultimately your situation to work through, but I'm going to be here every step.
Yeah.
Every step of the way, I'm going to be here with you and we're going to get through this together. And so that personally relates to me. I think because I had so many great leaders that did that for me. Absolutely. They didn't leave me high and dry. They were there for me. They were champions. And so, man, we don't have enough time, Donald, for this conversation. We don't. And hopefully we can record the next conversation live in Austin, Texas.
Absolutely.
That would be our first live guest recording. We do one-on-one riffs in Austin live, but this would be our first guest interview in Austin because I feel like there's more to share. I feel like there's more for us to rip on. But for now, I think it's time that we got to turn it to a close. And so the last tradition on the Modern People Leader that we're going to keep for today is what we call one word close. It's one word or phrase. So don't judge us if we actually use more than one word, but just a reflection on this conversation and showing a little gratitude for what we just shared together. Who wants to go first? I want to go first.
There we go.
I'm going to go with allyship. Ooh. Because that is I want, that's what I want to talk to you more about, honestly, is like how can we as professionals just be better allies? So,
dude, I'm loving that.
Do you want to go next? Or you want me to take it?
You go first, man.
I'm going to say inspired. I feel very inspired talking to you. There's just something about your energy and your presence and how you're lifting everybody up around you. Nice. It's inspiring. And that's what we're trying to do here on the Modern People Leader. And when you walked us through the 4 traits of an ally, I was like, okay, maybe we are allies. Like, we don't really ever describe ourselves that way, but through the work that we're doing, it feels like we're doing that. And I'm like, this is inspiring. And that's going to be in the back of my mind with everything that we do.
Dude, forward. That's amazing. Both of you are champions, by the way. And I'm happy to be able to champion you all. I'm actually going to play off what you said, and you said lifting everybody up. That's intentional. Champions intentionally look to lift people up. But the up for me means unlock potential. So that would be my word, is how do we continue to move into spaces where we unlock potential? And so many companies are sitting on potential right now that they have not unlocked. So Modern People Leaders, let's transform, let's champion, let's inspire, let's practice allyship, and let's go unlock some potential, man. It's fun.
Well, it was an honor having you, Donald. It's gonna be tough for me to pick a couple of clips to highlight from this short episode we did, because man, there were some fire moments in this conversation we had. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to Greenhouse for letting us post up in your space as well. Daniel and I are out here on the streets just having conversations. So shout out to Greenhouse.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.